Gossiping about someone feels a little shameful, doesn't it? Like something you shouldn't openly admit to enjoying, even though almost everyone does it constantly without really noticing. But there's a real argument, backed by real research, that gossip isn't a character flaw at all. It might be one of the single most important inventions in human history, and without it, large-scale human cooperation may never have gotten off the ground in the first place. When researchers study gossip, they're not just talking about petty rumors or drama. The academic definition is much broader. Any conversation about a person who isn't present, their behavior, their character, their reputation. Under that definition, gossip covers an enormous amount of ordinary daily conversation, catching up on a mutual friend, discussing a coworker's decision, even praising someone's kindness behind their back. It's a far bigger, far more neutral category than the word usually implies. Once researchers started actually measuring how much of daily conversation falls into this category, the numbers were striking. Studies led by evolutionary psychologist Robin Dunbar found that social topics, discussing other people's lives, relationships, and behavior, make up roughly 60 to 65% of adult conversation time across recorded samples, regardless of age, gender, or setting. That's not a niche habit some people have while others avoid it entirely. It's the dominant use of human conversation itself, running quietly underneath almost everything else we talk about all day long. Something like a primitive version of this may exist in other primates too, even without language. Researchers studying vervet monkeys and chimpanzees have documented individuals paying close attention when a third-party social conflict or rank change is being observed, sometimes altering their own future behavior toward that individual based purely on what they witnessed happen to someone else. That's a kind of proto-reputation tracking, built entirely on direct observation rather than shared language. Human gossip appears to be the same underlying drive, scaled up dramatically by the addition of spoken word, letting information travel to individuals who never personally witnessed anything at all. Dunbar's explanation for why starts with something surprising: primate grooming. Other primates maintain social bonds within their group through physical grooming, picking through fur, removing parasites, building trust one relationship at a time, slowly and patiently. The problem is that grooming takes real time, and there's a hard ceiling on how many individual relationships one animal can maintain this way. Dunbar's theory argues that as early human groups grew larger than that ceiling allowed, something had to replace grooming as the bonding mechanism, and that something was talk. The scale of this limitation becomes clearer with real numbers. Some primate species spend up to 20% of their entire waking day grooming other members of their group, and even that substantial time investment caps their stable group size at around 50 individuals. Human groups, by contrast, regularly function at far larger scales, sometimes hundreds or thousands of cooperating individuals, without anyone spending anywhere near that share of their day maintaining each relationship physically. Something had to be doing the bonding work instead, far more efficiently than touch ever could. This connects directly to a concept now known as Dunbar's number, an estimated cognitive limit of roughly 150 stable social relationships a single human brain can meaningfully track at once, based on the size of the neocortex relative to group size across primate species. Grooming alone could never scale a group anywhere near that size, no matter how much time an individual devoted to it. Language, and specifically the kind of social information sharing we call gossip, could theoretically maintain far more relationships at once, since you could learn about, and stay updated on, someone without ever needing to personally interact with them one-on-one every single day. Beyond just maintaining bonds, gossip serves another critical function: tracking reputation across a group too large for everyone to have direct personal experience with everyone else. If someone cheats, lies, or fails to reciprocate a favor in a small group, word can spread without you ever witnessing the behavior yourself firsthand. Researchers studying cooperation call this indirect reciprocity, and mathematical models of group cooperation consistently show that reputation tracking systems like this are essential for large-scale cooperation to remain stable over time, since they let a group identify and avoid untrustworthy members efficiently, without requiring every single member to personally test every other member first. Without some system like this, larger cooperative groups become extremely vulnerable to free riders, people who take the benefits of cooperation without contributing fairly in return. A small band where everyone personally knows everyone else can catch a cheater through direct experience alone, given enough time and enough shared encounters. A larger group can't rely on that same direct exposure. Gossip effectively solves that problem by turning personal experience into shared, distributed knowledge, letting an entire group collectively police bad behavior without needing a formal authority, written laws, or any single person keeping track of everyone. This isn't purely theoretical model building either. A widely cited 2012 study led by researcher Matthew Feinberg had participants play economic cooperation games in small groups, some with the ability to pass along gossip about other players' past behavior, others without any way to share that information at all. Groups that could gossip about untrustworthy players showed significantly higher rates of cooperation overall, and participants reported real relief at being able to warn others about someone who had previously acted selfishly. Removing the ability to gossip didn't just change the mood of the game. It measurably changed how much people were willing to cooperate with total strangers they had never met before. This also explains why gossip feels so compelling in the moment, almost impossible to resist once it starts, even when you consciously know you probably shouldn't be so interested. Researchers studying the psychology of gossip have found it consistently activates reward-related regions of the brain, similar to other socially or biologically valuable information like food or money. Learning something new about another person's behavior or reputation isn't experienced as trivial. On some level, your brain appears to treat it as genuinely useful data, worth paying close attention to and remembering carefully, exactly the kind of information a highly social species would have needed constant, efficient access to in order to navigate a complex group successfully. It's worth being clear that not all gossip functions this positively, and this isn't meant as a blanket defense of every rumor that's ever spread. The same mechanism that helps a group police cheaters can just as easily be turned into a weapon spreading false rumors, damaging someone's reputation unfairly, or excluding a person from a group through coordinated social exclusion. Researchers generally distinguish between prosocial gossip, which shares accurate, socially useful information, and malicious gossip, which spreads misinformation or intentionally harms someone, and the evolutionary argument for gossip's usefulness applies mainly to the former, not to every instance of talking about someone behind their back. Seen this way, a group chat buzzing about a mutual friend's relationship, an office conversation about a coworker's promotion, or a long phone call catching up on someone else's life all start to look less like idle time wasting and more like a very old, very effective piece of social technology still doing exactly what it always did, just running through different channels than it used to. You're not simply passing time when you gossip. You're running one of the oldest systems your species ever built for holding a large group together, updated for a modern world your ancestors never could have imagined. The next time you catch yourself deep in a conversation about someone who isn't in the room, it might be worth remembering that habit may have done more to hold human societies together than almost anything else your ancestors ever invented, long before laws, courts, or written records existed to do the same job. That's exactly the kind of hidden thread this channel exists to dig up. If you want more of these, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.